government, they have to activate what I will call, or what the Bible calls, ordination.
Ordination? If my lifting has been crafted in advance, what then is my ordination?
Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. He said, before I formed thee, I knew thee. And before thou camest out of thy mother's belly, I sanctified thee and ordained thee as a prophet to the nations. Now that was Jeremiah's ordination. The error of many believers now is that they claim that particular ordination to be theirs. And our concern should be that we have been ordained, but what have we been ordained to be? So Joseph, before you came from the womb of your mother, you have been ordained to be what? David, before you were formed, you have been ordained to be what? What our concern should be is, what is that ordination before time began? And the second thing we need to check is that in verse 10, we must know what is enshrined in that ordination, in that the manifesto, what is the work description of that ordination. When Jeremiah was ordained the prophet in verse 5, in verse 10, they begin to tell Jeremiah the things that his prophetic office should do. It means that we can have two prophet ordained in the same office of prophetic, but what they are meant to do differs. So you must also know your ordination and know what is enshrined in that ordination.
This one really whipped me, sir. I went to school to study and I had a second class upper. Are you now saying I made a mistake for going to school? Or is my ordination not looking for a job?
Sir, I have read about ordination, but not to be this deep. What you are saying to me, what you are saying to us, is a serious issue that is attached to one's success in life and destiny.
The matters of ordination is very important. A lot of people take it with levity, not knowing that it determines their success, their lifting, and their relevance. Now back to your question. Going to get a job is physical. Your academics, looking for jobs, they are physical. Ordination is spiritual. Men can get you a job, but spirit gives ordination. So if you are not walking in alignment of the ordination given by spirit, how then do you expect the spirit to lift you? The spirit won't lift you. No lifting will come from them because you are not walking in alignment.
This is looking like back to 0 point. I now become missed. I do not know what my ordination or purpose is.
The Son of Man goeth about as it is written of him, Matthew 26:24. And that is why the Son of Man is lifted. In fact, it went further. He said, I come in the volume of the books written of me to do thy will, O God. Any man who is not walking in ordination did not come at all. You can live in the cosmos for 50 years, but in the register of eternity, once you don't walk in alignment of ordination, you did not come at all. Those that will be found in the name in that register are those who are walking in alignment in the cosmos. So the number of time you lived in the earth does not matter in eternity. And so your assignment is to check the vistas of heaven and find out, did you come at all? Because if you don't come, you cannot be on heaven's payroll. And if you are not in heaven's payroll, how can you be lifted? Because in the kingdom of God, there's a payroll for those that came. And those that came are only known by those who walk in ordination. So if you are not walking in ordination, you can't be on the payroll. If you are not on that payroll, you can't be lifted.
Jesus. Did I really come at all? Am I on heaven's payroll, sir?
I told you. This is beginning again for me, sir. Because I obviously don't know my exact ordination or the purpose description in it.
Before Jesus came, his ordination has been revealed to the extent that even where he will live was revealed. Already the ordination. The land of Zebulun, the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, the river of Jordan, the Galilee of the Gentiles, the people that sat in darkness have seen the great light.
Sir, how do I know my ordination? Apart from this job hunting and all, what's the spiritual pathway I must align with?
Before I go into that, I want to give you one or two examples. I've given you about the ordination of Jeremiah, that of Jesus. Then I remembered Saul too. If you remember Saul, Saul was known as a rebel who killed Christians, burned churches, and persecuted those who love the Lord. But when he was on his way to Damascus, Ordination sponsored an encounter and he met with Jesus on his way to Damascus. It got to a point that even Ananias was very angry and was saying, how come? Why will you leave the disciples who have been praying and praying and praying in the presence, and then you go to a man who is an enemy of Christ, and then you are revealing yourself to him cheaply? Something many Christians are praying for. Somebody did not pray for encounter, and you showed yourself. And they told Ananias, see, the disciples are intercessors. Their place is to remain in the presence. But Paul has an apostolic mandate upon his life. And as apostle, he must see Jesus. An encounter must happen for him to be successful as an apostle. And that's why ordination sponsored that encounter. It was in that premise that Paul said, all things work together for good to them that love God and according to his purpose. And he said it too. He said the highest level of ordination is glorification. In Romans 8:30, he said to those God has predestined, he glorified. That is it. And that's why you cannot just succeed in the marketplace because you are skillful. It's because you are ordained. When you are ordained, everything you do is sponsored by ordination.
We can't wait, sir. How do we know the ordination? I mean, how do one know what is written in the book concerning us, sir?
One of the major keys of walking in ordination now is surrenderedness. You must surrender your will to God. You are being shown. You surrender everything to God. One thing you also do is you pray a prayer of inquiry. You ask God, what have you ordained me to be? And that thing that even including me is encounter. Sometimes you have encounters with some people that can be a pointer to your ordination. By the time you see some men of God, some great men in your dream, you know you have a calling to their prophetic office. Then you begin to find out what is the job description in that office.
Sir, does that mean we can have more than one person call into one office of ordination?
That is the same question I was about to ask you, sir.
A lot of believers can be ordained into the same office. And that is why you must find out the description. What's the job description of your office? When Jeremiah was ordained to be a prophet, he knew what to do in verse 10 of that chapter. So then if you are called to be a prophet, you will not ask to do what as a prophet. It's very, very important. And sometimes it doesn't have to be spiritual. We have people who could be ordained into the government office, into politics, to take over government and promote the agenda of God in government.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So don't be jealous of anybody. Your scroll is different. Your prayer should be that God should open the veins of eternity and you should know what was written of you so you can begin to walk in it. So even if you are 70 years, if you discover your ordination, what you will achieve in 3 years will be far more than what you've ever achieved in 30 years.
I get it well, sir. If I will be lifted in this kingdom, if God will commit to my destiny, I must walk in my ordination in the very volume of the books.
This is the first level of lifting in this kingdom. There's no other one. To learn more about ordination, I once delivered a sermon, in one of my teachings in Encounter Clinic. You can, get details from that and learn more.